appreciate Eli Metz arranging tonight's gathering. Eli and I have spoken about it. I say thank you, Chaim Tzvi, Meir, Chaim, and Yosef. Thank you, Chaim, for being here. In Durham, we're in Baltimore, the Shmel Mishpacha, Rav Ezi, Shlomo Zalman, the new Tata, though his daughter probably is sleeping. But I really appreciate, Eli and I have spoken that when our Chabura gets together, good things happen. There's a chizuk before we even share Divrei Torah, just seeing one another is already a chizuk. And Eli felt that we should get together and share Divrei Torah. It would be something that we can gain from. There's two midrashim that I want to share with the Alumni. I thank Binyamin coming on from Lakewood, taking time out. Thank you. It's late at night. We won't go long. The Wilbur Mishpach is here. We won't go very long, Be'ez Hashem. I want to learn two midrashim with the Chevra and share two ideas that move me a lot. We've studied Shlomo Zalman. We studied together many ideas, many values we studied together. I want to be mechazik Yosef Feldman. I want to be mechazik ideas, Nechemya Klugman. It's the middle of the night. Thank you, Nechemya. I want to be mechazik ideas that we studied together. Two ideas, Rabbi say. There's a medrash in Bereshis that I've seen many times, and it's a very, very difficult medrash. And I've never said it over till mamish, till today. I've never said this medrash over publicly because it's so shver, Eli. And I decided this year that I want to understand this medrash. I saw something nifladik, and I want to share it with everybody. Noach Tzvi, tell your father over this medrash. I want to share this with everybody. The medrash is in Parshas Lech Lecha. And the medrash says as follows. Amar lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Avraham says to Hashem, listen to this, MD Fried. We're Yitzi Kramer, thank you for being here. We have a chevra from all over. If we could spread this, Shlomo Zalman, if we could spread this everywhere, we'll have a massive impact. Says Avraham Avinu to Hashem, Rabbi Olam, the master of the universe, Karas bris im Noach. You made a treaty with Noach. You're not going to kill his children. You promised Noach not to kill his children. Amadati, and I stood up. V'sigalti mitzvahs u'maisim tovim yosim mimenu. And I did more mitzvahs and more maisim tovim than Noach. The dachsa brisi lebrisai. And my bris, my covenant, overpowered Noach's covenant. The bris you made with me took over Noach's bris. Taimar, I'm worried. Sha'achar oimed, somebody else is going to stand up. Umisagil mitzvahs umaisim tovim yosvimeni. And they're going to do more good deeds, more mitzvahs, more maisim tovim. The tidche brisai lebrisi, and their bris is going to push away my bris. This is what the medrash says. If you don't, it's like dangerous. Please don't leave the Zoom now. Rav Ezi, if it gets choppy, it would be Maisa Satan if it went now, because this medrash, Rabbi say, needs pshat. Avraham Avinu, who's kulei selfless. Avraham Avinu, who cares about Hashem and is not about himself. The Avraham that you and I know, when Hashem said to Avraham Avinu, Scharcha harbe ma'od, I'm going to give you eternity. I'm going to give you Olam Haba. Avraham Avinu said, more than eternity. There's something I want more than eternity. Rebbe Elchanan Wasserman, the great Rebbe Elchanan Wasserman said, many Yidden have given up their life al Kiddush Hashem. Many Yidden gave up Olam Hazeh for Hashem, but they wanted Olam Haba. They got eternity. They gave up this world for eternity. Says Rabbi Elchanan, Avraham Avinu said to Hashem, that I'm willing to give up eternity. Forget Olam Haba. He got Olam Haba. Of course, Avraham got Olam Haba and gets Olam Haba. It's in Olam Haba. But Avraham Avinu said to Hashem, I want a nation of idealists. I want a nation of idealists more than I want Olam Haba. I want children, descendants that are loyalists to Hashem. Avraham Avinu wanted children bigger than himself. I have to tell Leo Mendel, I have to tell you, and we need to study Avraham Avinu. I loved, but Elio Mendel wrote this week in the Waterbury word that Eli Metz put together for us was Naira. And we have to study Avraham Avinu. My Rebbe gave me many gifts. The greatest gift he gave me, perhaps, is that Avraham is not some figure. He's my father. He's my father, who I'm meant to study, who he davened for me and you. And we have to ask ourselves, Elio Mendel, my 6-year-old son, Yisrael Meir, asked me a question this morning. All my life, I wanted what my Rebbe gave me, I should give to my kids. He asked me, I want to share this with the Friedler Mishpacha. I went on Rois and Kalim. When he asked me this question, I want to travel to my Rebbe and give him a kiss. It's his credit. My son Yisrael Meir said, Tati, how can I say Avraham Avinu? He's our father. How do I say his name? He didn't want to say Avinu, it's the Tata. How can I say Avraham Avinu is my father? I can't say my father's name. You hear Meir Friedler, what Yisrael Meir asked? How do we say Avraham Avinu is the Tata? I don't want to tell you the answer. I want you to ask the question, Chevra. It's our father. It's our father that we aspire to his madregas, that we ask ourselves, are we living up to that path that Avraham set for us? So I want to study Avraham is selfless. Avraham Avinu says, I would prefer children that are loyalists to Hashem over Olam Haba, which of course he gets, Olam Haba and children. And Avraham Avinu certainly wanted children that outshine him. Chazal say, you could be jealous of anybody but your sons and your students. You want students that are bigger than you. You want students that are much bigger, of course. Every Rebbe wants Talmidim that are bigger. Look at the screen and you'll see somebody they call Rebbe and Talmidim that are bigger. Everybody wants people around them that are bigger. And here we want our children to outshine us. We want our children, of course. And here Binyamin Chazal say, Avraham Avinu says to Hashem, I outdid Noach. I outshone Noach. I was misagil him in mitzvahs amaisim tovim. And you pushed away his treaty for my treaty. Says Avraham Avinu, our tata, that I'm nervous, my kids, somebody will come and push away my bris. Was Avraham really, this appella, you almost, don't leave, don't fall asleep. I know it's 5:30, it's the middle of the night, 5:10, but you can't fall asleep now. Avraham said to Hashem, I'm nervous that somebody will be better than me. Avraham Avinu's prayer was a whole generations that should steig and outsteig, but certainly he wanted a Moshe Rabbeinu. So what is this medrash? So allow me to explain simple pshat, Yonatan, and then I want Yosef Feldman, Tzvi Rand, I want to share something with the Chevra. I want to ask the guys that we have to be mechazik in something. We gathered tonight, something practical should come out. Says the medrash like this. This is the pshat, Rabbi say. When Hashem makes a bris with a tzaddik, Hashem made a bris with Noach, God's promises are forever. Dvarav chayim ekayamim. Hashem's word endures. Now Shlomo Zalman has his daughter. I'm going to be more passionate now. Hashem makes a promise, it's forever. Ashi, do the highlight Shlomo Zalman's daughter for a minute? Do you mind? Thank you, Ashi. If I knew how to do it, I would do it myself. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Oh, yes. Oh, good, excellent. Okay, let's go back now. So Rabbi say Hashem's promises are forever. Hashem makes a promise, but of course the promise endures. Dvar of Chayim v'Kayamim. Hashem makes a promise. His promise endures. So if you go back to the other view. I apologize, but I wanted to see Ines. I wanted to see Shlomo Zalman's daughter. Oh, we'll get it back. Back on. We're back. Oh, I apologize. Maisa Satan. We almost didn't get the answer, Yo-Yo. So Hashem makes a promise. Hashem's promise is forever. And Hashem promised Noach that he would not be Mechal Zara, he would not destroy Noach's children. Comes Avraham Avinu, and Avraham Avinu fights a war. And in this war, Avraham Avinu destroys 4 countries. There were 4 countries that captured his nephew Lot, and they captured 5 other countries with Lot. And Avraham Avinu fights a war to get back his nephew Lot. He hears Ki Nishba Achiv, and he fights the war. At the end of the war, there are 4 countries that are destroyed. And Avraham Avinu asks himself, Hashem promised Noach that his descendants won't be killed. So what is this? That there are 4 countries that are vanquished. The answer is that since Avraham Avinu outsteiged Noach, Avraham Avinu is a descendant of Noach. And of course, the promise to Noach lives forever, it endures. But it goes to Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu becomes the continuation of the promise to Noach. So when Hashem promised Noach, all your descendants will survive, till Avraham Avinu, it's true to all Noach's descendants. From Avraham Avinu and on, since Avraham outshone Noach, the promise goes only from Avraham and his children. From now on, there's no promise to other descendants of Noach, Shelo Yichal Zaram. There are 4 countries that are deceased, 4 countries that are killed, because the promise to Noach is Mekuyim only in Avraham, because he outsteiged Noach. Says Avraham Avinu to Hashem, of course I want my children to outsteig me. I want tzaddikim and gedolim and geonim. But you're promising, you're making a bris with me, says Avraham. I'm worried one of my descendants is going to steig so much. Besides the promises to Avraham, ki bi Yitzchak yikar l'chazara. There's a bris with Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Shiftei Ka, and everybody going forward. Says Avraham Avinu, I have a daiga, Hashem, I'm worried. One of my descendants will outsteig me. will come maybe a Moshe Rabbeinu. And the whole promises you made to me will only be true when Moshe and his children. Somebody will outsteig me, and Avad Avram wants somebody to outsteig him. But I want that every one of my descendants has a connection to you. I'm davening. Avram was davening for every one of his descendants. I'm not mivater on one descendant. And Avraham Avinu said, I want to build a nation of loyalists. If one person steigs more than me, I'm worried you'll give the brachos and the bris, my bris, will be only continued in this Talmud, in this student's line and his descendants, and it won't spread to all of Klal Yisrael. So Avraham Avinu's prayer to Hashem was, I want every single Yid, nobody left out. Hashem responds to Avram's gorgeous prayer, and Hashem, Amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem says to Avram, Minayach lo yamadati meginan shel tzadikim. When I made the bris with Nayach, it was a bris, but I didn't promise him to protect every one of his children. Avo mimcha, to you, Avram Avinu, ani maimed meginam shel tzadikim. I'm going to make shields of tzadikim. The Mefarshim explain, Hashem promised Avram that I'm going to have tzadikim b'chol dar vadar, that protect every Yid, that daven for every single Yid, that include every single Yid, that bring every single Yid as part of Klal Yisrael. I'm going to appoint Meginam Shel Tzadikim, shields of Tzadikim, that bring in every child, that allow that nobody's left out. So, Chevra, I want to say like this medrash, incredible medrash we're studying, that Avraham Avinu daven to Hashem, I want great, great descendants, but I don't want some left out, some pushed away. I want every one of my descendants to count. And Hashem promised him, Meginam Shel Tzadikim. When we say in Shemona Esrei, Hashem's the Magen Avram, the shield of Avram, it means the shtick Avram that's in every one of his descendants. The Zera Avram, that Avram Avinu davened, I don't want to be mevater on one einikel. Hashem's a Magen Avram, he has a shield of Avram. He protects and wants and promises that every Yid is included in the bris of Avram Avinu. So I want to say to the Chevra Aboisai, let's continue Avram's revolution. Avram called, and the Rebbeinu Shalom promised Meginam Shel Tzadikim. He promised Tzadikim in Kol Dar, who will pull in, who will daven for the Dar, who will be inclusive, who will pull in another. I want to ask the first thing that we studied together, Chevra. I want to ask everybody, let's join Avram Avinu's Meginam Shel Tzadikim. Let's join those shields, those tzaddikim that pull in this request of Avraham Avinu, and the request that Hashem listened to and guaranteed Avram. In each of our cities, we're spread out, Chevra. My son, I think he's here. He called from Eretz Yisrael, and he's expressed, and guys expressed that it's difficult to leave yeshiva. And it's difficult. I want Shalom Tuckman right back in yeshiva. I'd love to be with Noach Tzvi Klitnik. We get Yankov Bladder, Rosh Hashanah. Who wouldn't want him the whole year? Shlomi Kramer, we get him in the city, but we don't get daily to be together. And I told my son that in yeshiva, we together learned ideas. Now go out to the world and be a generator. In yeshiva, we learned Ayin Tov. Don't go out to the world and say, why are people judging negatively? Go out and promote and be an Ayin Tov. Look at everybody around you with the great eye. I say to the Chever, Rabbi say, let's rally to pull in, include in your shul, include people, pull people in your community, in your yeshiva, pull another person in. Be inclusive, pull in people, invite that neighbor who needs a Shabbos invitation. Invite that friend, pull in Rabbi Say, Meginan Shel Tzadikim. Include and uplift the next Yid. Avraham Avinu davened that wasn't willing to be mevater on one Yid, and he davened to Hashem. He was worried. He was praying, of course, for his students and Talmidim to outshine him. But he was worried somebody would be so great that the line and the brachos to Avraham would go through that person and other people would no longer be included in the bracha. And his prayer was for every single Yid. Nobody should be left out of the brachos to Avraham Avinu, of the bris, of the precious bris made with Avraham. And I asked the Olam and I rallied the Olam, let's be people that are inclusive. Pull in another Yid. Include and encourage in all areas. In our schools, we want to change. We want to, in our schools, include everybody. In every which way, we all have different posts. We all have different places where we reside. We all have different organizations we're part of. But wherever you are, wherever you have a say, pull in somebody. Be inclusive. Uplift. This is the essence of our people. The essence of our people, we pull in and we include. That's what we are. That's what we're B'nai Avraham. We're B'nai Avraham who have this want and this desire to pull in, to include every Yid. He wanted an entire nation of loyalists to Hashem, not willing to be mevater on one. So this is one sugya I wanted to learn with the Olam and one medrash I wanted to study. Allow me to study a second medrash with the Chevra that's in Parshas Lech Lecha. It's important when we study Torah, Chevra, when we come to learn Torah, bring yourself. Come with all your situations in life, with our situations. Listen to what Hashem is telling us. Shalom, when we study Torah, Hashem is talking to us. Listen well. There's a medrash I heard in my life over 20 times. And every year the medrash went in. There was only one part of the medrash I heard. I missed a certain part of the medrash. I've heard this medrash over 20 times in my life, for sure. And the medrash, I heard only part of the medrash. This year I was learning Sfas Emes, and I saw the medrash. And I noticed the word of the medrash I had never noticed before because it was Dani and Eli's yahrzeit. This past Shabbos Kodesh was Dani and Eli's yahrzeit. And I'm reading a medrash in Parshas Lech Lecha that for 20 times before I didn't notice one word in the medrash. I was trying to remember this Shabbos how I understood the medrash before this week. But this week was Dani and Eli's yahrzeit. And I had a siyata d'shmaya, and I want to share a medrash that should be an ilui for both of their neshamas. We have people, the Rhinus Mishpacha from Florida is here, the Lowy Mishpacha from Brooklyn. We could spread this medrash, and it should be an ilui for Dani and Eli's neshama. Listen to this medrash. The medrash, very, very famous, is Avraham Avinu. It says as follows, Am Reb Yitzchak, Mashal la'echad, it's a parable for a person. He's traveling, and he sees a building. I'm going to skip a word for a minute. He sees a beautiful structure, sees a gorgeous building. Omar, and the man says, Taimar, do you think you think this structure has no manig? It's a gorgeous building. There's such organization. There's such design. So for sure, if there's design, there's a designer. Anybody who's driving today in the fall, you see the foliage, gorgeous, beautiful pastel colors, beautiful colors, the yellow, the orange, the beautiful brown, all mixed together, stunning. There's such beautiful design. There's obviously a designer. Hitzasala Balabira, the owner of the structure, says to the man, Shalom Aleichem. There's somebody who wants to meet me, introduces himself. I'm the owner. I'm the manig. I run this place. Kach. Lefi Shaya Avinu Avram, our father Avram. Omar, he said, Toimer Shalom Hazeh B'loi manig. Could you say nobody's active? Hitzlav HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem says to Avraham, Shalom Aleichem. So this medrash I've heard many times in my life. And the lesson of the message of this beautiful medrash is Pashut. See Hashem, Rabbi say, see Hashem. Notice Hashem. And it's fascinating. After Avraham Avinu notices Hashem, Hashem says, Shalom Aleichem, Amar Loi, Aniyu Ba'al Abira. The Beis Halevi says that in order to be Zoichet to Nisim, if you want a miraculous life of seeing miracles in your life, if you make a habit to see Hashem when he's hiding, the Beis Halevi says if you train yourself, Hashem hides, that's the Anhaga, it's called an Olam, Hashem Helen hides, that's how Hashem designed the world. But if you see Hashem when he hides, say to Hashem, you might as well not hide, I see you anyway. Then Hashem comes out. And the Beis Halevi says, Kifi, our person sees Hashem when he hides, then he's Zoichet to Nisim, Hashem might as well not hide. And Avraham Avinu, when he sees Hashem, you think there's an Olam B'li Manig, Hashem says, Aniyu Ba'al Abira. So amazing medrash. But Reb Yitzi Stern Shlita, thank you for being here. I missed the word of the medrash. I'm embarrassed, Yankov Bled. I don't know how my whole life, Yonatan Kleki, the Chassan. Chassan, my whole life, I missed the word. The word that I missed is, it's the medrash says there was a Bira Doilekes. There was a burning building. In Waterbury, we're very, very sensitive. I mentioned fires. We all have PTSD. Firemen and fire people, we have a lot of difficult past from fires and the like. So maybe that's why I skipped this word of the medrash, but it says Avraham Avinu saw a Bira Doilekes, a burning building. Why was the building burning? The medrash should say he saw a gorgeous building. He saw a beautiful building. And he said, if there's a beautiful building, if there's a building, there's a builder. If there's a world, then there's order, then there's a creator. If there's a design, there's a designer. But why does it say he saw a burning building? Why burning? Why do you make that? We like positivity, Elimetz. Why do you make a burning building? He saw a building. Why a burning building? Why does it say Avraham Avinu saw a burning building? And he said, if there's a building, there's a builder. Why does he have to make the story burning? It's so sad. I was having like a good Shabbos. You have to see the building had a burn. What's the pshat? The burning, the Bira Doilekes. So Mefarshim say a pshat. I want to tell you a pshat that occurred to me this Shabbos Kodesh when I noticed it. I found the Eitz Yosef says the pshat. But I want to tell you a pshat. Akiva Tepper, thank you for being here. Akiva Tepper, listen to this pshat, Akiva. Akiva, why do you have to see a burning building? I want to say like this. I was thinking this year, the yard side of Eli and Dani, and certainly I try not to think about the tragedy. As much as these two heroic B'nai Torah, Eliyahu ben Shmuel, Eliyahu ben Mordechai, Zechroina Levracha, and Daniel Feidish ben Yaakov Yitzchak, these two beautiful B'nai Torah. I try to think about these two growing people and not so much, not to focus on the tragedy. But this year, my mind was a lot on the tragedy. That was the Ashkacha. And when we go through difficulty, and a difficult, tragic situation, it seems chaotic to us. It seems out of control. Chaos, disorganization. It looks to us when there's a tzara, when there's a tragedy, it just looks to us that there's efkerus. The word in war, there's a word collateral damage. Innocent people seem to get like so much chaos, so much disorder. In tragedy, it looks like there's so much disorder. I'm driving down Wallingford Road and I see the beautiful trees, gorgeous colors. It looks like a fire, pastel colors. So I see organization. But in a tragedy and a difficulty, when there's mishpat, it looks so chaotic, carnage, randomness. That's what it looks like to the human being. We have difficulty processing. It looks disorganized. Avraham Avinu was such a maimon, such a emunah. He saw Hashem so clearly that when there was a bira doilekes, a burning building, fires are the most chaotic. Fires catch, fires spread. There's damage seemingly by accident. This catches on fire, which lights this on fire, which causes this to burn. Avram saw a bira doilekes, a burning fire, and he says that zamanig, there's a bayre, everything's exact. There's somebody running, and then Hashem said, Shalom Aleichem, Aniu Bala Bira. Avram Avinu, even when there was a bira doilekes, that was a chiddush of Avram Avinu. That's a madreg of emunah. In difficult times, when there's mishpat and things tend to look like such chaos, there's an exactness, there's reasons, there's an exactness to it. I told the Chevra, I was zeicher to get a gift from the Sandler Mishpacha, that beautiful family. They gave me a gift that I treasured a lot. They gave me a mug, a coffee mug, a very big coffee mug. And on the coffee, I would have brought it as a prop, Eli Metz. I looked for it, I couldn't find it. I'll tell you something, I have to find it. But they gave me a coffee mug, and it said on, I had it for a long time, and it said on it, chaos coordinator. Now they were alluding in yeshiva, a lot's going on, and they called me a chaos coordinator. It was a good zug, that it looks like a lot of different things, but there's organization. But I had made my chaos coordinator mug. I love that line because the Rabbeinu Shalom is running everything exact. There's no chaos in our world. The bira doilekes is a manig. I say to us all, I was trying and thinking about the tzara. I was trying to, my daughter found it. How'd she find it? Really, you found it. Ellie, you can see in the prep. Rena, I looked myself. I don't know how. Rena's the hero. Rena found it. Thank you, Rena Bragner. Where was it? Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Belina the Chaim will bring it to Yeshiva. Belina, it's a good. The chaos, there's organization. I was driving to Yeshiva in this fall and seeing the foliage. I was telling myself that the same organization, look around and see design and know in the difficult situations in our life, it's a designer, a bayre, who loves us, who cares about us, who loves us as much as we love ourselves, who's organizing and arranging and doing. That which we know is l'tovei seinu, and sometimes what we don't know and don't understand. But when a bira doilekes, still see the manig, see the bayre, and see organization. And I want to call the Olam, these two in Yanim, Rabbi said. We gathered tonight. I thank Eli for gathering us. I want to be mechazik these two in Yanim, Chevra. Inyan number one, I want to be mechazik, is the inyan of being more inclusive. In our schools, in our communities, in our shuls, let's pull in. Avraham Avinu, who davened that he doesn't want to let go of one of his descendants. That was message one. Message two, we're living in a world where there's been uncertainty. There's been this whole situation that the world has gone through, and many are shaken and confused. I want us, B'nai Avram, to look at all the chesed and the kindness of Hashem. Look at the beautiful trees of your life, the beautiful flowers, the kindness of Hashem. Look at the screen and see the chevra was zeicha to be part of. See that which is good. See all the chesed that we're so aware of, and it's so blamed to us as a manig. And understand on the Bira Dailekes, even when the building appears to be on fire, that there's a manig. Avraham, in the midst of a Bira Dailekes, says, Shabira Zubulay manig. The Bira has a manig. Now I want to make a diuk, Elio Mendel. Avraham Avinu doesn't say the Bira Dailekes has a manig. He says the Bira has a manig. And I want to say to the Chevra diuk in the Medrash, that when the beer is dialect, the deleka won't lead you to say there's a manig, but the bira will lead you. See that which is clear. If there's a bira dialekes, but there's a bira. When we have difficulties, look at that which is so masudar. Look at your spouse. I see couples here listening to the shir. Look at your children. I see families listening to the shir. Look at your chaver. I see chaverim listening to the shir. Look at that which is so mesudar. Yo, look to your left and look to your right. Shlomo Zalman, look in your arms. See which is so mesudar. See the bira. And then even when sometimes the bira appears to be dilekis, there's a manig. The Bayrei who loves us, who created the beautiful bira and loves us, he's being manig. You'll have a comfort. We'll have a yishuv adas. We'll have a calmness, we'll have a tranquility in our life to know there's a manig. We're in good hands. We're in good hands. We're in wonderful hands. I want this MD Fried, I want this to be a mark of our chabura, an emunah, a faith in Hashem, that we notice all the chesed and we study and take to heart that there's a manig, there's a vayrei, who b'ashkacha pratis on kol yachid v'yachid is guiding and leading and directing and taking care. And then even when something is there's a bira dilekes, there's din. Hashem is smarter than us. He does things that we don't understand because he's smarter and has access to chachma we don't have. But amidst the bira dilekes, we'll still see emunah and ashkacha. We'll see the Yad Hashem. Rabbi Yitzi Stern Shlita, his father introduced many of us to a Yid Reb Marx at Tzaddik in Eretz Yisrael, who amidst the Bira Dailekes saw the Bira, amidst difficulties. He saw, amidst all those difficulties, he saw the kindness of Hashem. He saw Ashkachas Hashem with such clarity, and he taught us there's a manig to the world, a loving manig who runs the world. I again want to thank the Chevra for coming on. I appreciate Eli Metz for being Mesader. I thank the Chevra that's given in articles, Elio's article, Shua Frank's article. I don't want to give away the secret who's writing this week, but I understand there's a good one coming. Be'ezer Hashem, I've been informed of the secret. I won't give it away, but the bar has been set high with Elio and Shua. Rav Ezi Shlita's the Yartzeit writings that he's given to that, the Rav Heshi Khan Shlita's halacha, the psakim that he's brought down. So I really thank Eli for allowing us to come together in that way. I want to thank everybody for coming on. I didn't warn Chaim before to sing, so I don't know if his Zoom is set up properly for it, but Be'ez Hashem, we'll have other future gatherings. We'll try to get together from time to time. It's Zichur Kedai that we'll try to get together to learn. There's so many things that we want to be mechazik together, but I say let's take these ideals. The best thing would be Zeicher to be together. I don't want to make it like it's Gevaldig. We're not together. We're praying for Mashiach. For Kibbutz Goliath, we're praying. Why should we be so spread out? We should all be together in Eretz Yisrael. Be'ez Hashem. But Kol Zman was spread out. We're going to make that a bracha too. So Binyamin, you to Lakewood, Nechemia to Eretz Yisrael, the Shmel Mishpacha to Baltimore, Yankiv to Muncie, each to where they are. Let's take values and ideals of inclusiveness, of emunah. Let's be a light. Let's be a chizuk to the next person. All of us should be zeicher to be bnei Avraham, and it's full taikif to be children of Avraham who pull in the next person. Be inclusive, each one in your way. With that child who others maybe push away, you pull in your own children and your neighbor's children, your own friends and your friends' friends, in shul and your schools, in every way that we can. Let's be inclusive. We need our entire people. We're not mivater on one, as Avraham Avinu wasn't mivater on one. Let's join his army of Meginam Shel Tzadikim, of those tzadikim that are part of the promise of Hashem, Magen Avram, the shield of Avram. Whenever you say Shmoneh Esrei, Baruch Atah Hashem, Magen Avram, the shield of Avram, it means the Rebbeinu Shlomo protects and guards and pulls in every single year. That's what Magen Avram means. It's this medrash, the Meginam Shel Tzadikim, that protect every one of Avraham Avinu's children. Fight for each one. Steig, grow, yo-yo, serve Hashem, and pull up the next one. Somebody told me Moshe's on. I didn't thank you, Moshe, for getting on so early in the morning. We should all be zeicher to be part of that legion, Meginam Shel Tzadikim of Avraham Avinu, who pull in every single person. And we should be zeicher to that Yishuv Hadas, through difficulties, through challenges in this beautiful world, their beautiful beer of Hashem, and all the structure and all the kindness of Hashem, that even if there's an asayin, a beer is dilekes, but we should see the manig, we should be able to take great comfort and a tremendous consolation that there's no collateral damage, ein davar kazeh. There's no chaos, zero. There's no disorder. There's only a manig who each thing bechesed, with tremendous kindness, with tremendous love. Every single thing is done by Hashem that should give us a tremendous serenity, a calmness to serve Him, a calmness to raise our mishpachas, a yishuv hadas. The Bayrei is controlling everything. Thank you so much, Rabbi Say. Mazel tov ta'akiva. Mazel tov Akiva on the birth of your son. You should have tremendous megadol l'toyer l'chupul l'maisim tovim. Maybe Ashi unmute Akiva. Akiva, if you could tell us your son's name. Akiva, if you can unmute.
His name is Ezra Shmuel.
One more time.
Ezra Shmuel.
Ezra Shmuel. Beautiful, beautiful. You should have a lot of nachs. Megadol Ezra Shmuel. L'tayra l'chopel l'maisim tovim, a mazel tov to Yummy Base, Baruch Hashem had a baby boy as well, a mazel tov to Simcha Stern, Baruch Hashem, Simcha Katz as well, who had a child. We should just share in Simchas and continue to steig together as a chabura. Have an excellent night, Rabbi Say.
Nachum.
Oh. Nachi.
Leave that mute.
You were unmuted.
Oh.
Hi. Focus on.
Huh? Where's Nachum unmuted?